They say wealth begins in the mind, not the wallet. And I used to think that was just a pretty sentence people repeated on Instagram until I read this book. And then I understood, I felt that the richest people in the world didn't start with money. They started with imagination, with desire, with the fire inside them that wouldn't let go. That's what this book is about. It's not a manual for quick cash or shortcuts to riches. It's a journey inward to the place where your dreams begin to breathe. And if you really, really listen, you will see that this book isn't just about growing rich. It's about growing into the person who's finally ready to receive everything life has been saving for them. Hi, you're listening to The Gentle Knight, and I'm Nazi Entezari. Every week I sit beside you with my voice, with my heart, and I share the books that have touched me deeply, stories that left a mark on my soul. This week, I want to tell you the story of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Not just the summary, but the soul of it. So take a deep breath. Maybe you're walking, maybe you're lying in bed. Wherever you are, this is your moment to listen and to remember what you're truly capable of. So, let me tell you what I learned. It all begins with one word, desire, a deep, burning desire. Not the kind that shows up when you see a nice car and say, I wish I had that. No, the kind that keeps you awake at night, that makes you feel a little crazy. That kind of desire is where success starts. Hill tells the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who desperately wanted to work with Thomas Edison. Not for him, but with him. And he did. Not because he was the smartest or the richest, but because his desire was fierce and unwavering. That story stuck with me because I too have had desires that seemed ridiculous until they weren't. But desire on its own isn't enough. You need belief, faith. You have to believe not just on the surface, but down to your bones that what you want is already yours. Hill talks about this a lot. He says faith is created by repetition. You don't just feel it, you build it. You write your dreams down. You say them out loud. You visualize them so often that your subconscious starts to believe they're true. And when your subconscious believes something, your whole life begins to rearrange itself to match that belief. That was powerful for me because I realized how often I let doubt whisper in my ear. But now I know I have to be louder than doubt. I have to be the voice that speaks faith into my own life, even when things feel dark. One of the most beautiful things Hill teaches is the idea of autosuggestion, that what we say to ourselves matters, that we can program our minds like gardeners planting seeds. You don't plant fear and expect joy. You don't speak lack and expect abundance. If I keep telling myself I'm not good enough, then I'm building a wall around myself. But if I say I am growing, I am ready, I am becoming who I'm meant to be, then something inside me shifts. The soil of my mind becomes fertile. That's what autosuggestion is. Daily words soaked in emotion that rewire your inner world. And then comes knowledge, but not the kind you learn in school. Hill says specialized knowledge is what brings wealth. Knowing a little about a lot isn't enough. You have to go deep. You have to become an expert in something. You can't expect to build success with scattered energy. Focus is everything. He reminds us that you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find the knowledge or who to ask. That calmed me. because it means I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be strategic. After knowledge comes imagination. Oh, I love this part. Hill calls imagination the workshop of the mind. He says this is where dreams begin to take form. Everything around us, the phone in your hand, the chair you're sitting on, the music in your ears, they all began in someone's imagination. Isn't that amazing? Someone saw it before it existed. And if they could do that, why not you? Why not me? We all have this divine ability to create, but sometimes we let it sleep. We silence it with practicality, with fear. Hill invites us to wake it up again, to play, to imagine boldly, and to let our imagination show us what's possible, even if it feels outrageous. Of course, imagination without action is just daydreaming. That's why Hill brings us to planning. He says organized planning is the bridge between desire and reality. And this hit me hard. He says you will fail many times. And that's okay. Failure isn't defeat. It's data. It's redirection. The only true failure is quitting. So you make a plan, and if it doesn't work, you make another and another. You don't stop until the door opens. And even then, you knock on the next one. I think one of the hardest things Hill talks about is decision making. He says successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They hesitate, they doubt, they ask too many people. That used to be me. I think and think and think until the moment passed. But this book reminded me that hesitation is a thief. You have to listen to your gut. You have to decide and move, even if it's scary, especially if it's scary. And when it gets hard, and it will, the next key is persistence. Hill says persistence is the test. It's life asking you, do you really want this? And most people say no without realizing it. They give up when it's just about to happen. But if you keep going, one more day, one more step, one more try, then you win. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. Always. One of my favorite chapters was about the power of the mastermind. Hill says no one succeeds alone. You need people. You need energy, minds, hearts, voices around you that uplift you, that challenge you, that see your vision and remind you of it when you forget. I thought about my own circle and I realized how deeply I need those soul friends, those dream builders. We're not meant to build castles alone. And then, surprisingly, Hill writes about something most books ignore, sex energy. He calls it the transmutation of sexual energy. And before you raise an eyebrow, no, it's not weird. It's actually beautiful. He says our sexual drive is one of the most powerful energies in the world. And when we channel it, transform it, focus it, it becomes the fire behind our creativity, our ambition, our genius. This chapter made me think of all the times I felt raw, alive, passionate, and how I can pour that into what I create. Toward the end, Hill talks about the subconscious mind, that vast garden where all our beliefs live. He reminds us it's always listening. Whatever we feed it, good or bad, it accepts. So if we feed it fear, doubt, jealousy, it gives us more of that. But if we feed it gratitude, love, hope, abundance, then it blossoms. And finally, there's this beautiful, almost mystical chapter on the sixth sense. Hill says once you practice everything else, desire, faith, imagination, action, persistence, a moment comes when you start knowing things without logic, a kind of inner guidance, a whisper from your higher self, a quiet nudge in the dark. And that's when you're really aligned, when your outer actions match your inner truth. That's where the real riches begin. And that's the story, my friend. That's what this book taught me. Not just how to grow rich, but how to grow whole, how to believe in myself again, how to trust my voice, follow my vision, and never give up on the life that calls me. If this story touched you, even just a little, please support this podcast. Like, subscribe, share it with someone you love. Help me bring more light, more stories, more whispers of hope into the world. You never know who might need this today. I'm Nazi Antezari, and this is the Gentle Night Channel. And if no one has told you this lately, you're capable of beautiful things. You are worthy of the life you imagine. And I'll be right here every week to remind you. Until next time, stay soft, stay strong, and stay dreaming.